Okay, so up now is Jamie Rose, and she will tell us what her wonderful organization does.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Rose. I'm with the charity Lammy's Love. We're local to DFW in Texas. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and share the screen, and I'll get the presentation up and going here.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is, yeah, our information with our mailing address, our phone number, our website, and our logo there. And so here's a little bit about us, kind of our main mission statement there. Lammy's Love is a 501c3 nonprofit charity offering compassion, inclusive support, and resources to bereaved families of child loss, along with the high quality, specially crafted and custom bereavement boxes made with care. At Lammy's Love, our mission is to ensure that no family walks through loss alone. Through our bereavement box donation program, we provide immediate, thoughtful care by delivering beautifully curated comfort boxes to local NICUs for families experiencing infant loss. We started off doing donations to the NICU, and that's what we do every single month. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But we have also expanded to helping a hospital that's actually out of state. They wanted to order some bereavement boxes kind of for their entire hospital, as well as a few different funeral homes and local churches. So anyone like that you guys might know that's interested, we're glad to help them and work with them and continue expanding to reach more families in need. And of course, just like everyone here, we always say we wish there wasn't a need for our organization to exist, but the reality is that there is a need. So since that need's there, we're glad to be here to offer that support and care. So with our donations that we do every single month through our bereavement box donation program, our main goals really are kind of helping and supporting three groups of families. With our bereavement boxes, those go to help new families of loss. And then every donation that we make once a month, we do that in honor of an existing family of loss. We want families to know, it doesn't matter if your loss happened 1 year ago or 10 years ago, your family and your child is still always loved, honored, remembered, and celebrated. And we invite them to see, come with us for the donation to happen, to see good things done in the world in their baby's name and in their honor and memory. Because we know that, often after that first year, sometimes people stop checking in or reaching out or asking how you're doing. But after that first year, that grief doesn't magically go away. So we just try to be really intentional with everything we do. And instead of just making a donation, we wanted to do that in honor of existing families. And then when we make our donations, we always bring treats and goodies for the NICU team or wherever we're making our donation to thank them, because we know that the medical team, goes through a lot of trauma and work, and they love, our little ones just like we do. Definitely, I can say, Parkland for sure, there's lots of hospitals I can list, but for them, they're at least one of their nurses that I've had the pleasure to get to know. I always tell people the way that she would show off photos of families that she's had and the way she speaks about them, you would think all these families are truly her blood and family. And so it's really beautiful and sweet just to see how much everyone really does care. But that's where our bereavement boxes, the intention behind them, where they kind of go to help and support. And then outside of our bereavement box donation program, we have community events throughout the year for everyone at large. Grief touches our lives in different ways, even if we're not directly the parents, whether it's grandparents, aunt and uncles, neighbors, friends, whoever, people in the community, to come and be able to have an experience together to keep that love kind of going. So we mainly have our bereavement boxes, but we also do community events throughout the year. And then here's a little bit about our bereavement boxes. So in our bereavement boxes, we have pink boxes for girl, blue boxes for boy, gray and white. That's kind of like a neutral gender backup box in case they run out of a girl or boy box. And they have that one that can be gifted either way as needed. And then we have a silver box that's for a twin family. And so inside each of our bereavement boxes, they'll all have the same pretty much items, but they will be different items, varying, but the same kind of. Everyone will have a stuffed animal set, a baby book, and so on. And so there's 7 items in the boxes, and one being the stuffed animal set pair. Why we chose to put that in our bereavement box is in the hopes that it would give families that confidence that they can place one of the stuffed animal pairs with their baby. So whenever these boxes are really gifted out initially, like right away, kind of, first line of care there when a loss is happening, if a family has a little bit of a heads up that things are not looking good and it's time to say goodbye, or for families that don't have that time on their side and they're given that news. Either way, these bereavement boxes are gifted right then, like immediately, so that the families can start using that and start having that support and care before they leave the hospital or anything like that. And so for some of the families that they do have a little bit of heads up of the time on their side, we hope that they can actually use some of these items with their baby, like reading to them, making those memories, things like that. But with the stuffed animal pair that's in there, the intention is for one to go with the baby and then one stays with the parents. So even whenever you're back home, and you have to leave the hospital, you're still, connected. And we put 2 in there because I know for me, at least, if anyone gave me one stuffed animal, I just would have given anything and everything to my daughter. But this is a way for parents to be able to have that reassurance and confidence that they can keep one without parent guilt or anything like that. The medical team or whoever can say, you get to keep that one. Your baby has one, this is how you can kind of stay connected, then you match. But obviously, any of the ways that any of the families want to use our items, there's no right or wrong way. These are just ideas and inspirations that we have, or things that have been able to help other families. But that's why we have 2 stuffed animals in each box. We also have what we call like a baby dedication book. So again, for some families, before they say goodbye, getting to have an experience or something shared together to read this kind of sweet baby book. Or, if time is not on your side, you can still read it afterward. You could read it at home in their nursery and, at their gravesite, wherever. And we tried to really make sure that all of the items we had in our bereavement boxes, including the books, were trigger free, worded, with special care, that it's appropriate for these types of family situations, that, it would be a beautiful book, but not too overwhelming or emotional. And so we're glad to have these books in here that we hope can be a comfort and care, because I know the baby book that I had received for my daughter when she was in the NICU or even afterward. It was a sweet book, but it just didn't apply at all whatsoever to, our journey and our experience. A lot of things in typical children books say things like, the day you were born was the best, most magical day of my life. And, every day I'll hug and kiss you goodnight and tuck you in bed. And we don't want, anything traumatic or triggering or things that just don't apply. So these books, have really, we put a lot of intention in there, that we hope can be actually a comfort that they can read to them. Um, and then we have a baby blanket in each of our boxes, whether that's swaddling your baby with comfort and care, or that time that's really limited to take those family photos with a lot of babies' bodies going through a lot of trauma. This can be a great way to really, wrap them in a beautiful, dignified way. And then for families like myself that had a micro preemie, my daughter was so teeny tiny, 1 pound, 3 ounces when she was born. And so the first time I got to hold her was really kind of after she passed away. But she was so small and had gone through so much, resuscitation and things like that. Um, it was hard to really like embrace her and hold her and snuggle her, or even pass her around to a different family member. And so having had something even like a small washcloth or something folded, that would have been a great support, under her to be able to do that better. So we put baby blankets in there for many different reasons. Um, And then we have an adult grief self-help book, because we know it's a whole new world in life, trying to live this new life and reality, and how to live a life with grief. And so the books that we put in there are top rated and awarded, and I always thought it was really kind of special and validating and eye opening, that a lot of the authors in there, could have been pretty famous counselors, psychologists, whoever. And they would say that until they lost a child themselves, whatever advice they gave before is so different now. And I thought that was really validating and powerful for parents of loss, that it is really, a different resources and support that's needed for this type of out of order, sudden, unexpected type of loss, like child loss. So, we hope that these books will be a comfort and can be relatable to the families. And then we have an item called a pocket token. It looks almost like a quarter inside a little keychain. Again, beautiful but simple. One side says like a little pocket token, the other says, "I'm always with you." And so we know that moms often are gifted necklaces and things like that, items that they can hold on to, think of their baby, their loved one. And we wanted to have something for the dads to be able to have that wasn't too girly, or that they could bring with them. And so whether they take that pocket token out and slip it in their pocket when they go to work, whether they have it on their keychain, however, if there aren't dads in every family, so that's okay. The mom can keep it. It could be for an existing sibling. They could put it on their backpack when they go back to school. Grandma, grandpa, and uncle, whoever just needs that extra piece of love and support. So that's why we have that in there. The box itself, we hope can be a gift and something that families use to, keep, of course, their NICU or baby's items and medical things in, but for families that maybe had a baby shower, and then certainly afterward, the sympathy, funeral cards, things like that, to be able to store them in a box that we hope is, not too big, that it's a pain to store, but not too small that it can't hold the items, and something that, if families wanted to have it out even in their living room or wherever, it's not something that's really triggering. It's a beautiful box, in a, simple, solid color with rose print on there. And then we have a letter that we include as well, that basically just says, we know, we're so sorry for your loss. And we know that, right now you're kind of on that time crunch of the 48 hours trying to find, a funeral home and coordinating who's picking up your baby and things like that. And so I know for me, I remember in those initial days, everyone's trying to be helpful and give different advice. And I remember thinking, there's so many things that I have to do, but I'm trying to figure out, what do I actually have to do today and tomorrow? If it's not today and tomorrow, I can worry about that, the next day. But there are time sensitive things that I think I have to take care of now. And so we just wanted to put a letter to offer some help with that, and just share about two other resources that we let families know about, that they don't have to, utilize these services. There's no fee, but we just want to make sure that they know that they're available to them if they do want them, and that they are kind of time sensitive. And that's we share about Nye Lay Me Down to Sleep photography, and then angel gowns. And so many different hospitals around already partner with them or share with families, but it's always nice to have something written down to reference, because we know how real grief brain is, right? A lot of the things that, you know, are shared with us in that initial time, it's probably going in one ear and out the other. So to be able to have a paper that they can really process or hold on to or reference in their own time, we hope can be helpful. So those are the things that we have in our boxes. And between each of our boxes, we do try to make a little bit of differences. There's not a whole lot of items that are universally friendly. It doesn't matter someone's backgrounds, belief, religion, and it's friendly, to anyone and background there. And that's trigger free also with the wording and things like that within our price range that we're able to assemble our bereavement boxes with. There's just not a whole lot of variation, but out of what existed out there, we did our best to try to make little themes and a difference. That way, families wouldn't just feel like, you know, we got a bereavement box from the hospital or wherever, but more we hoped it could be, oh, we received the special pink one with bunnies, or we received this one with the puppy dogs. And I know for a lot of families of infant loss, um, there's not a whole lot of time to, make those memories or to learn things about your little one. And so, in, other types of losses, people would say, well, go back to your favorite vacation spot, or, where you enjoyed, a meal at a restaurant together, or even wear their favorite color to the funeral service. But with babies, it's like, I don't know, I wish I knew, these favorite things. And so sometimes it's nice to have like the world kind of send you little, ideas or things that you think can be related to your baby, or maybe that's something special to them. And so we hope between having these differences with the animals too, that can be something that then maybe families associate with their baby and little ones, or when they see those animals, whether it's a bunny or a puppy or giraffe or whatever it is, that they can feel like, that's a little sign or a little glimmer of love from their baby, or even, at the grocery store or wherever, and there's the little animals on the outfits. It's like, oh, sending mama and daddy love. Thank you. So we try to make those little differences between our boxes, and that's kind of about each of them there. And so that's our bereavement box program. And then again, we make a donation once a month to a different NICU around DFW. And then we have community events going on there. And then again, just through our bereavement box program, making one donation a month. That's at least the 84 bereavement boxes that we donate, helping 12 families, one family a month that we honor, and the NICU teams, and then our community events. And then different ways that people, we let them know that they can help, is of course spreading awareness, sharing our name, helps families know, where they can go to find resources, or different hospitals partnering together, or if they're interested in us making a donation to them, to be able to extend that comfort and care onto the families. Of course, making donations help us continue doing the work that we're doing, for different companies that offer workplace giving programs. Getting set up and established with that is a great help. And then different families sometimes listen to us as birthday fundraisers on Facebook or wherever. And then making in-kind donations, whether that's businesses or whoever donating items to us. And then toy collection drive, or angel trees with the items off our Amazon wish list that we create our bereavement boxes with. That's always something that different places and organizations or businesses can do to help. And sponsorship, and then of course volunteering. So that's kind of a little bit about us and what we do. And yeah, if anyone had questions or anything, I'd love to answer or share more.
Thank you, Jamie. There's a lot in the chat. Make sure everybody reads through the chat, but I'm guessing somebody has some questions for Jamie. Anybody?
I was going to say, lovely work, Jamie. I love what you're doing, and I love how we all kind of move towards the same thing, but do it in different ways.
Yes.
And that's where the collaboration comes in. So thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Sorry if I missed it, but could you clarify, can parents request a box, or does it come through the NICU? And if so, how did NICUs request a box?
So it would go directly through the NICU. We have expanded just recently, and so now it's not quite updated on our website quite yet, but there is an option to order, whether it's a hospital, a family,
Great.
a church, a funeral home. They can order an individual box or have one sent to their friend, family, loved one. But as far as our donations go, so those are just done once a month to a NICU around DFW. And so those hospitals will have the boxes up front. That way, the world of NICU or any type of pregnancy and infant loss is unexpected, right? It's something we can't plan for, and things just change on a dime. And so, at least in my experience in the NICU, wasn't planning on ever being there or delivering that early. So I had nothing, no items of comfort and care, nothing at home, no family, no one there. And so, we hope that these, items can be a blessing to the families who receive them. And so they're donated in advance, again, so that families don't have to go back to the hospital later in case that's triggering or traumatic, that, right away initially, when the loss is happening or, right after, before they leave home, they already have that support and, another, a letter from somebody else, in the lost world, and sharing about these other time-sensitive resources and, again, those items of comfort and care. But hospitals can request them or order them. They can use them, if they order them however they want, anywhere, in their whole hospital. And yeah, we're glad to help and accommodate that and organize that.
Thank you. Okay, and great to know you will soon be able to order them online.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. I want to say you did an amazing job on your presentation, number one. Also, I like the fact that you said that you guys offer services after the year loss, because in certain bereavements or griefs, they after a year, family kind of like, kind of go on, everybody kind of goes on their way. But to still have that support after, I think that's amazing, because a lot of people may forget, however, you as the mom and me, because I lost my son, you never forget something like that. And grief is so different for everybody, and the stages and how we grieve is completely different. Some women don't even start their grief process till later on later. So the fact that you're still checking on women even after a year, I think that's honestly amazing. So I just wanted to say kudos for that.
Thank you so much. That means so much. Thank you.
All right. Jamie, any other final moment or final words?
Just thank you guys for being here and caring and letting me share about our story and the heart behind our mission and what we're trying to do. And again, not just with the bereavement boxes or the community events, but we do have a resource tab on our main website on lammieslove.org. And that was another big thing that I know through my experience trying to find different organizations or, connect, or has anybody gone through, a situation like this or something similar? And so you're looking online, or sometimes the resources that you're given, or you look at government websites and those are old and outdated. They no longer exist. Or even trying to Google things, right? You're Googling infant loss or neonatal death or this or that, all kinds of things are going to come up on the internet. And it's kind of like, whoa, can I have one little safe kind of filtered current tab that's not going to, when I'm already exhausted in the grief world, drain me or not be fruitful? All these resources are current, local, most of them are free and vetted and there to help. So yes, if anybody needs resources, if our resource tab on our website can be helpful, please always feel free to share that with families.